Good morning, folks. Bit of technical problems there. Have to do it again. So today I want to talk about your training. Now, this is aimed at guys in their 40s and 50s who are getting back into training. This is not applicable, well, it is applicable, I suppose, but it's not aimed at guys who are well versed in training. You're fit, you're strong, you've been training all your life. This is probably not applicable to you as much, though you will learn something from it. So, one of the big things that the fitness industry does is we push to failure. You know, it's in order to get illicit muscle growth, you need to stress the muscle. Okay. Now, the old bodybuilding way was like 3 sets of 10, 1 set to fail, right? So you push 10, and you would do drop sets and giant sets, and the weight be too much. Once the weight got too much for you, maybe take some plates off and keep going, keep going. All the damage the muscle fibers so they grew back stronger. Now, if you're taking copious amounts of steroids and you're well trained and you're maybe young in your 20s or something, that's fine. Your body's going to recover. But if you've spent the last 10, 15 years sitting on your ass, eating pizza, behind a desk, behind a car wheel, not doing anything, and then you come in to a gym and you start training like that, there's a good chance you're going to end up running into injuries, running into lack of motivation. And the reason being is your body just can't handle that stress. And because it can't handle the stress, it's then just going to do its best to get out of there. And that's usually a result of lack of motivation or injury. Excuse me. So one of the first things you got to understand, well, the way I coach my members is I'm always focusing on how the central nervous system is going to respond. When I'm training my clients, there's two things I'm thinking of. I want to get them strong as fuck, and I want to get them fit as fuck. If I can get them strong, everything in their life is going to improve. That's simple. Oh, sorry, the other thing is mobile as fuck. If I can get them fit as fuck, well, then they're going to be able to continue training as hell, as much as problem. And if I get them mobile as fuck, well, then they're going to improve. There's going to be less pain. There's going to be more free movement. And that's going to equate to them feeling better about themselves. So I don't really focus on building muscle as maybe other gyms do, because I know that the byproduct of focus on strength, focus on mobility, and focus on fitness will be you will get lean, functional muscle. You will look better, feel better, and move better. Which I say, build a bit, lose a bit, get a bit. So you need to go back to the central nervous system. Now, the central nervous system dictates all movement. Okay, without our nervous system, our muscles, these big guns you've got, don't mean shit without the nervous system. If I cut your arm off and throw it on the floor, it's not going to do anything. You can no longer control it. That muscle can't contract. What is controlling the contraction is the nervous system. Now, the nervous system is like a light switch. It's either on or it's off. You can't have a partial contraction. You can have a certain level of strength in a contraction. Now, our nervous system governs how much strength it's going to grant our body. If you think of like a dimmer switch, so the more I train, the brighter I can get that light going. The less I train, the level of light I can emit will be a lot less. If you think of it like that, you'll maybe understand it a bit easier. So the only time you're going to get a full contraction is if you get electrocuted. And what happens? Electrocution, your muscles get ripped from the bone, your bones break, tendons, ligaments snap. So your nervous system is actually governing your ability to contract the muscles because it doesn't want you to be injured. It doesn't want to cause damage to you. So it's a self-limiting thing for safety. Now, we know this because if you look at children who get knocked down, maybe their mother witnesses it, there's so many documented cases of women lifting cars off their children, but the byproduct of doing that was they got damaged, they ruptured ligaments, they shattered their spine. So that is why we don't go to full contraction. Our nervous system don't let us go to full contraction. So when you take this principle and you understand that we want to get the dimmer switch to get brighter, we need to start at a bit place lower. Now, what I mean by that is if I can get a 100 kilo bench press and I can bench press 100 kilo for 10 reps and 10 is my absolute failure, well, then why would I go in and just start blasting out 100 kilos? To me, there's no point in that because I'm going to push to failure. Why not start at about 80 kilo and do sets of 10? And then the next day, add 2, 3, 4 kilo, whatever it is, and do another sets of 10. And then another next time, you add another few kilos and do more sets of 10 or whatever rep range. I'm just giving 10 as a rep range example. What I'm trying to get to is I start my members back way further back than they need to, than they're capable of, because I want their bodies to adapt. I want their nervous system to accept the weight they're lifting as not a threat, as not a non-threat. If I can get their nervous system to accept their weight as a non-threat, then I know it's going to grant them the strength required to continue on that workout. Now, if I add 2 kilos on, and I remember I'm using 100 kilo as their 10 rep example here, and if I add 2 kilos onto that, I'm only up to 82 kilo. I know that they're going to be able to complete this workout quite easily. And then the next time they come in, another 2 kilo, 84 kilo, they're going to continue that workout. By the time they get to the 100 kilo, which was their 10 rep max, I can guarantee 100 kilo is no longer their 10 rep max, because I've spent maybe 3 or 4 weeks building them up to a point where the 100 kilo for 10 reps is no longer a threat to the nervous system. They'll be able to go for 15, 18 reps quite easily. And it's this process that I try to get my members to understand. That's why I'm such a supportive proponent of the 3x52, 3 sessions a week by 52 a year. Because if I can get you into the gym 3 days a week for over the space of a year, I know that by the time that end of the year comes, you're going to be so far beyond what you thought capable of that it's going to shock you. But you're never going to go to a point where you've actually pushed your body to complete failure. Now, the other thing you've got to understand is that I try to tell people the nervous system is like a puppy. So if you think of nervous system as a wee puppy, Jackson last year, he was only, I got him 8 weeks old. If I wanted to build a relationship with him up, there was no way screaming at him was going to work. If I said, "Get over here," I do that now. But as a pup, he would never respond. He'd run away and car away, and we never built that relationship up. I had to coax him out. "Come here, good boy." Lots of loving, lots of petting, lots of care. That's your nervous system. Your nervous system is a puppy. And if you scream at your nervous system by throwing on a weight that's just too much, it's going to shit itself and it's going to run and hide. And it's never going to grant you the strength you want to lift the weight you want. But if you step back and you do the slow puppy thing and "Come here, hello Laura," and you come in, you call it in gently and you're nice, do it, guess what happens? It starts trusting you. And it starts accepting that, fuck, he's not going to push me to death here. I'm not going to die, because your nervous system, it has only got 2 things. It's not a rational thinking thing. It knows it's safety or danger. That's all it knows. Its only goal in life is to make sure that you stay alive. So if it sees a weight as a threat, and that's what the nervous system does. The nervous system is always analyzing everything as a threat. We're looking for threats. We're looking to make sure you don't die. So the nervous system is going to see that weight that you're going to lift too heavy as a threat. It's going to shut off your ability to lift that weight. Cormac, how you doing, mate? And it's by shutting it off means you can't lift the weight. And if you continually try that, it's overkill. Step back. Allow yourself to adapt to the weight you're lifting. Allow your body and nervous system time to get used to that weight. And what you'll find is that strength will stay longer, because remember, the longer period I can expand my training out and I can allow my nervous system to adapt to, the more strength I'm going to accumulate. I will accumulate. If I put 10 reps, one of my ways of training my members would be, we work out the 10 rep max and we do 10 sets of 5. Because I know 5 is only 50% of its true abilities. Now maybe come 9 and 10, you'll start getting a wee bit tighter, but it's not going to be anywhere near the point where you think you're going to fail. So your nervous system is going to learn to adapt it. The next time you come to do bench press, and maybe the next week, maybe do 2 sets like that, 5. Maybe the next week, I'll add 1 rep to it. So now we're doing 10 sets of 6. And then the next week, 10 sets of 7. Next week, 10 sets of 8. Next 10 up to 10 sets of 10, which with what was originally your 10 rep max. So that was 10 rep max means you can do a set of 10, and the next time you come to try to do it, you only get maybe 7 or 8, because your nervous system's so tired. It's not going to, your muscles are exhausted. It's not going to grant you the strength required to lift that. By the time we've expanded this comfort zone out, we're up to 10 sets of 10 very comfortably. So we've got the strength. And then you've got to understand that when it comes to programming, it's volume that's the key here. So 10 reps at 100 kilo equals 1,000 kilo lifted. Okay, so if I do 3 sets of 10, that's 3,000 kilo total volume. Now, if I do a set of, so if I can do 3 sets of 10, let's say by some miracle, the 10 rep max, the guy gets 3 sets of 10, which won't happen. So he's done 3,000 kilo in the bench press, right, of total volume. If I do my the method I just explained there, and I do a set of 5. That's 500 kilo. But then I do 10 sets of that. Well, that's 5,000 kilo. So I have already lifted 2,000 kilo more than the guy who's lifted 3 sets of 10. But I have never pushed my body to complete failure. And because I've never pushed my body to complete failure, it's going to grant me the strength the next day to come in and lift more weight. And it's going to allow me to do the training. It's never going to see a threat. It's always going to grant me that strength. But the overall volume I'm getting is bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, there will come a point, obviously, because weightlifting is not linear, that you will meet your sticking point. And that's why deloads are important. That's why rest periods are important. That's why recovery is important. But this is a very, very quick synopsis of how men in their 40s should be training and why we should be training the way I'm describing and not the way that most PTs out there train. Remember, most PTs are young guys. That's how it is. They're just young. They're full of testosterone. They're full of passion. And they only know their way of training. And their way of training is push the fucking failure, because that's what Instagram takes you. Instagram tells you the sweatier you are, the more exhausted you are, the better it is for you. The reality is that's not true. Better is better. Not simple as that. Anyway, leave it there today. Just a quick synopsis. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.